everyone, and welcome to the In-Demand Majors webinar series. I'm Nikki Smith, and I'm an admissions representative at Northwood University. I will be your moderator for tonight as we look at the majors of marketing and marketing communications. One thing I'd like to point out is that you'll have the chance to chat with your questions. You'll just use the chat box on YouTube. Some people call it a comment box, but whatever you call it, just type your questions throughout, and we'll be able to answer them at the end of our session tonight during the dedicated Q&A session. Before you begin to learn about marketing at Northwood, I would like to introduce our Campus Director of Admissions, Missy DeBoer. She will share with you what makes NU a unique place to live and learn. Welcome, Missy.
Thank you, Nikki. It is a pleasure to be here. My name is Missy DeBoer, and I am the Campus Director of Admissions. We are excited you are taking the time to learn more about why Northwood is a special place and potentially your future home. Your major will describe your specialty and expertise. As a Northwood student, you will start experiencing classes in your major your first semester. All Northwood majors core. This core prepares our graduates to be well-rounded leaders in any organization and industry, regardless of the specific major that they choose. Our faculty are industry experts, and they leverage their business and life experiences to mentor and coach our students. Northwood students feel connected and supported, both inside and outside of the classroom. There are plenty of opportunities to learn and have fun. We embrace a philosophy called the Northwood idea. We believe in the power of free markets and entrepreneurial leadership to improve society and quality of life for everyone. Northwood students are determined to go make a difference in the communities they live in and companies that they work for and own. And at Northwood, we value hands-on experience. Our students compete, plan signature events, and pursue internships that lead to their personal and professional profiles. You will learn skills you never thought possible because you will be surrounded by students with a similar mindset that are passionate and driven when it comes to their futures in business. Northwood has many majors to choose from, and I'm going to hand it back over to Nikki to take you through some of the choices and the rest of the evening. Hi, Nikki. I don't think we can hear you.
You couldn't, and I apologize for that. I'm muted. Sorry, everyone.
There we go.
Tonight we will look at marketing and marketing communications. But Northwood University has over 20 different business majors. You can see them listed there on your screen. The In-Demand webinar series will take place until December 17th, and we will cover each of these majors. With that, we'll dive into our webinar today. We have three key areas that we'll focus on tonight. First, we'll talk about the major and what makes it unique. Then we'll bring in a Northwood student that'll give you a look at what it's like to be in the major. And finally, we'll wrap it up with next steps. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you several of our marketing professors. We have Professor McDermott, Dr. Beckrow, and Dr. Anderson joining us tonight.
Hi there. Thank you so much, Nikki. And thanks to all those who are attending our webinar today. My name is Jennifer McDermott, and I am an assistant professor of the Marketing Communications program at Northwood. All three of us are really excited to share information about this program with you, and we really appreciate your interest in our university. So first, today, I'm going to briefly talk about some of the information, or share some of the information about the industry outlook for marketing and marketing communication careers. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the projected percent change in employment for marketing careers from 2016 to 2026 is 10%, while the average growth for all other occupations is 7%. That's a significant difference. And marketing's been around a long time. So why is the trend towards higher growth in this area? Well, a major trend in the industry is that both large and small companies are moving away from conventional marketing methods and moving towards digital techniques. As a result, these companies need to hire digital marketers, and the demand for people to fill these jobs is quite high. According to a report by Burning Glass Technologies, 4 out of 10 jobs listed in marketing now call for digital marketing skills. That's one of the reasons why Northwood decided they needed to focus more on digital marketing and offer a digital marketing minor. So as an indication that these skills are needed but not readily found in job candidates, digital marketing jobs take up to 16% longer to fill. The demand is there, but there's just not enough people out there with the skills needed. Content marketing, an area that falls under marketing communications, is growing as well. Demand for content marketers has risen 450% since 2011. So between digital marketing and content marketing and all the other new techniques that are being used today, more and more students are needed to have these skills to fill positions. Some of the marketing skills that are in the greatest demand are search engine optimization, copywriting, content writing, social media marketing, search engine marketing, email marketing, and mobile marketing. The good news is these skills are gained directly through Northwood's digital marketing and marketing communication courses, something that sets Northwood apart from other universities that just have more traditional marketing programs. So to fill these openings, employers are either looking for direct coursework in these areas for students who are job seeking, or if they can't find students with coursework in these areas, they're hiring candidates with work-related experience. So if you have this in your coursework, it puts you at an advantage against other students and puts you in an equal playing field with those who have experience. Speaking of employment, many of our students are able to find unique and exciting internships in their field while at Northwood. Just a few of the places our students have interned include the Dow Great Lakes Bay Invitational, Quicken Loans, Greenstone Financial Services, Kilwin's Chocolate, Zero Doubt Cold Brew, Bosch, Cook GM Superstores, Duralast Roofing, Next Year Automotive, and the list goes on. In fact, after graduation, many of our students have been able to stay on full-time at these companies. Other students have started award-winning creative agencies and earned full-time positions at Fortune 500 companies. So what gives Northwood students an edge in the job market? Well, because students start taking marketing, digital marketing, and marketing communication courses beginning in their first year, as Nikki mentioned, they've already become familiar with the field. And in some cases, they've built full marketing plans by the time they're seeking an internship prior to their junior or senior years. A great resume builder. On a personal note, this is my first year teaching at Northwood, and prior to joining the university as a full-time faculty member, I spent many years working for companies in the area who often hired Northwood students, as well as students from other universities for internships and co-op positions. I can honestly tell you that there was a noticeable difference between the Northwood students and the other students that we hired. Northwood students were ready to work on day one with very little training, while some of the other students I found out had only taken maybe 1 or 2 classes in their major and needed a lot more assistance in the job. So we started to seek out Northwood students ahead of the others. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to work here. I knew there was something special going on and I wanted to be part of it. So I'm very excited to introduce our next speaker. This is Dr. Alicia Bethra, our department chair, and she's going to talk more about what makes Northwood so special.
Thank you, Professor McDermott, and thank you everyone for joining us tonight. So I had to boil it down to just 3 reasons why you would choose Northwood. So let me explain my 3 points. You earn an excellent education with in-demand programs, as you've started to hear already. So I want to talk about what the 3 programs are that you have a chance to select. So there's 2 majors and a minor. So the first major is marketing. And so what is marketing? I've got the definition, a very brief definition of the process through which goods and services move from concept to customer. So what does that mean? So You might have heard of the 4Ps already in your business courses. If not, you will. So place, price, promotion, product. And, so marketers work with those day in and day out. So you study, research, analyze the needs of the consumers to develop a product or service that will meet their needs, solve their problems. You determine the price they're willing to pay, the place they want to shop, and you develop a marketing communication campaign that will speak to the audience. Because not all audience will respond to the same thing. So that very small description of what marketing is, and then marketing communication is next. So what is different about that? This major is marketing communication, or MarCom, and it's a subset of marketing. So you coordinate various promotional elements and marketing materials, activities that will communicate to your audience. So your audience could be internal or external. So a couple examples of each would be internal employees that you need to speak with, board of directors, external being your target audience, people who need your product or service, the community that you work or live in, etc. So you understand the overall marketing objectives to develop a comprehensive marketing communication plan that will meet those objectives. You determine what marketing communication disciplines to include in that plan. So that could be advertising, public relations, digital, sales promotion, sponsorships, and the list goes on. But you want to select the appropriate ones for your audience, for your message, that will provide the maximum impact for your plan. And you want to ensure that all the marketing and promotional activities present a clear and consistent and unified image of your brand. So those are the two majors. And then, as you heard, we are offering a digital marketing minor. It's very easy to add a minor. And for a few more classes, it's often worth your time and effort. And it doesn't often lead to any more time before graduation. So, think of the first slide and the needs of the industry and consider adding a minor. So what a digital marketer would do is they would be responsible for digital channels that generate leads, build brand awareness, and those channels could include the company's website, email marketing, blogs, social media, etc. So you would use, the digital marketer would use analytics to identify strengths and weaknesses and determine ways to improve performance across any or all those channels. So you'll learn more about, when you add this as a minor, you'll learn more about analytics, technologies, strategies needed. And as we've just heard, they're very much needed in this industry. So something to consider. So the next point is faculty. So a little bit more about the three of us that you're talking to tonight. I am the chair of the department, and I have more than 20 years experience in marketing and education. So I've been fortunate enough to work for a diverse range of companies and organizations on a variety of products and services and campaigns. I've worked for nonprofits, Fortune 500s, and everything in between. So it really is exciting to be able to bring that to the classroom. Hear about my successes, learn from my mistakes, and things like that. You'll hear from Dr. Anderson in a few minutes. He's the assistant professor of marketing, and he also has decades of experience in brand marketing, social media marketing, direct mail marketing, just to name a few. In addition to his teaching, he advises AMA, and he's an author, entrepreneur, and marketing consultant. And Professor McDermott has more than 20 years of experience. So you see a theme here. We're kind of in the sweet spot of right where we've got our industry contacts that we can connect you with, and we've got our experience that we can bring to the classroom. So I think you're in good hands when you come to Northwood and learn from us. So Professor McDermott has more than 20 years of experience of advertising, marketing, corporate communications that she brings to Northwood. And Prior to joining Northwood, she worked with agencies and on the corporate side of marketing communication, developing and managing several national and international campaigns for companies in a variety of industries. So I would say with our industry experience that we understand the day-to-day marketing professional and what it takes to be the marketing professional, as well as how marketing fits within an organization. And like I said, with our industry contacts, they're actually excited that we are where we are at Northwood University because they want to impact the industry as well. And part of that is working with you as students. They want to be speakers. They want to interview you to be their interns or as full-time employees. They want to talk to you about the different opportunities within their organization or allow you to job shadow, et cetera. So I feel like the industry experience not only allows us to bring a lot of great information and knowledge to the classroom, but also helps you build your network as well. We share our network with you. And the third point is the opportunities. So for student members of professional organizations, you are able to gain valuable insights in the world of marketing, marketing communication, digital marketing. And you're going to hear more about AAF and AMA in various competitions students have had great success with in a few moments. But because, as you've heard, Northwood programs allow students to begin their majors courses the very first semester, they really do have an advantage to being able to take leadership roles sooner rather than later. So at larger organizations, you might have to wait till you're a junior or senior to be a board member of an organization or to enter a competition because you just don't have the skill or knowledge yet to do so. Not true for Northwood students. You could hold a leadership position freshman year. You can enter those competitions freshman year because you have some knowledge and experience through classroom activities that you'll hear about right away. So absolutely an advantage as a Northwood student as you start your classes right away. And really the opportunities are endless, not to be cliche, but you might have heard of our auto show, style show, Stafford Dinner. Those are major community events. And there's marketing positions that each of those events need filled. There are opportunities for students to work with small businesses and nonprofits who might not have the funds to hire a marketing firm to help with their developing their marketing strategy or their creative strategies. But in order to grow, they need to do that. So you gain experience working with them and they are able to grow their business as they need to. So I will leave that there. There's a lot more to say, but I want to pass it over to Dr. Anderson to talk about course experiences and leave you time for questions as well. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Beekrow. Appreciate that introduction and background. Yes, I am Professor Anderson, Assistant Professor of Marketing. So glad that you joined us today to learn a little bit more about. At Northwood, we do believe in practical preparation. So anytime in the class when we can provide a practical assignment to prepare you for the job world, that's our goal. So right now I'm leading an e-commerce marketing class. And in that class, students are challenged with creating a strategic e-commerce marketing plan. Several have chosen an opportunity to work with their family businesses and enhance their online presence, and a few others are working on an entrepreneurial venture, hobby, and grow to a full-time business. Yet others are working on larger organizations where they see opportunities for the brand to strengthen their online presence and grow through e-commerce. Especially now with COVID, e-commerce is as one of the best opportunities for even small and local businesses to grow their presence and their sales online. Another great hands-on exercise that we're going to be working on in the spring semester is, and this is partially through our digital marketing minor, but we are in partnership through the American Marketing Association to provide students with the training to become Google AdWords certified. And as you can imagine, with that in your resume, employers will be knocking at your door because it is an in-demand skill. What I love about this provides all the training. We help facilitate. Students learn and work in groups, and they're actually paired with a nonprofit. Google provides $10,000 to that nonprofit in order to bolster their online advertising presence. So throughout the experience, you'll be able to say, I partnered with a nonprofit, successfully managed a $10,000 budget and increased awareness or donations to the organization through that nonprofit organization. That's great experience that we're providing through the digital marketing minor. So in addition to classroom experiences, Dr. Bicro mentioned we do have the American Advertising Federation as well as the American Marketing Association, both student chapters on campus at Northwood. Not required by any means, but it is an optional outside activity that's strongly recommended. As an undergraduate, I was very much involved with both organizations. Plenty of networking opportunities and the skills to help bolster my resume at the time. Both offer national competition, and Northwood has a strong reputation for placing in the top 20 annually for especially the American Marketing Association skills competition, where groups work together for Northwood to put together a strategic marketing plan for the organization that AMA presented for the year. And this year it happens to be for a strategic organization that has storage units, and they're working with trying to get more attention from millennials and helping people with that process. So another great case to work on. I think that pretty much covers our course experiences, but I definitely look forward to having you in class. But thanks again for stopping out tonight.
Thank you, professors. It was great to have all of you here today and get to hear from each of you. Again, we will be bringing you back at the end of this webinar, so people can feel free to use the chat box to ask any questions that they might have. So it's now my pleasure to introduce to you Austin Ashley. He's a student here at Northwood University and is a marketing major. Welcome, Austin, and take it away.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good evening. My name's Austin Ashley. I'm currently a senior. My major is marketing communications. I also have a minor in sports management. So yes, it is possible. You can always add a minor onto whatever your major is as well. Management does work very well with that. So a little bit about myself. This is my 4th year here in the program as well. I have been involved in AF. That was a great experience. You do get to do a lot of work that you would be doing when you get out of school and go into your major. The reason why I came to Northwood during my campus visit, I would say I never felt more comfortable somewhere. And I really was always afraid of getting in a classroom that's, with 70 people plus and not really being able to focus. That was always one of my major struggles. So coming to Northwood, going on this campus visit, seeing how close-knit everyone is between the students and the faculty was very nice. I have had multiple internship experiences. So with that, probably my favorite was actually at United Wholesale Mortgage out of Pontiac, Michigan. They're a company that's currently on the rise. I know they're about to go public in a couple of days, but that was a great experience. I worked on their engagement team, which was basically making events for the employees for their benefit. So I worked on marketing for that, and that was a very interesting way to look at marketing as well. Other than that, classes have always been really fun, honestly. If you are creative, or even if you're not creative, there's a place for you in marketing communications. You can be into numbers, then you are right in with market research. You can be in how things place. You could be into strategy. So different things like this. There is creative as well, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Coming here, I am not an artist at all. So I've gotten a little bit artistic, but you do not need to be an artist by any means to go into the marketing communications major. However, I will say we have had a lot of fun projects. Right now, we are working on a project where we got to pick a company. I picked Yeti mugs, and we got to come up with a whole advertising campaign. So what you would see on the billboards, what you would see on the commercials, and we're going to get to present that to our whole class and to our professor as well. And it's kind of a nice body of work that's come together at the end of the whole semester as well.
Thank you so much, Austin. That was great. Now it's time for my favorite part, our Q&A session. So we'll bring back in all the professors, so you can ask all three of them questions, and Austin is going to stay with us also. So before we get to your questions, let's chat a little bit about the program, and then we'll go into more questions. So for the professors, is there a good minor or another major that pairs well with this major? I know you mentioned digital marketing, but is there another minor or major that goes well with marketing too?
I feel like management is also one that they kind of go hand in hand a little bit, that I feel like just the history of being at Northwood for a few years, that it seems like if they're going to double major, that's kind of a natural combination. Obviously, we're pushing our digital marketing minor, but also I know I've had several students in class that were also automotive and marketing. So really, I would encourage, no matter what you're considering, to talk to an academic advisor. They're wonderful. And they seriously, if you want to figure out how to do study abroad, if you want to add a major or a minor and you're a sophomore or a junior, they'll figure this out for you. So you don't have to, I don't want to say stay any longer than you have to, but they know, you want to get your degree and move on to your career. So they want to make that happen for you. So whatever you're thinking about, maybe you don't think they go together, they can help you figure it out.
Wonderful. You can see Christopher's question up there. He wanted to know if any of you work at Ford or had worked at Ford Motor Company, or maybe you know one of our students that has.
I have not worked there myself, and I'm trying to think if I know any alum that might work there.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm not sure we've had any students who have.
I'm sure we have in the automotive marketing and management major,
Yeah.
Going that route. And that probably is where that question, we could answer that question a little bit better for you, Christopher. But I am sure that we have had people go to work and who have worked with the Ford Motor Company. So let's ask Austin a question. Austin, you mentioned that your favorite internship, but you said you had done some other ones too. Can you tell us a little bit about any of those?
Yeah, so I actually worked at United Shore Professional Baseball League out in Utica, Michigan. So that was kind of a newer company. And we basically, I worked marketing promotions for each baseball game. So it is their own professional baseball league. Worked in marketing promotions with that, basically finding ways to bring fans in and keeping the fans engaged also during games. So that was also a nice way to incorporate my minor with my major. And then also to kind of piggyback on the talk about minors. For me, going into college, I never imagined that I would even have another minor, or a lot of people even double major, which is very possible. It is very possible, and it actually is surprisingly easy to fit it into your schedule. So don't ever count it out either.
Okay, we've had a couple other questions pop in. Here we go from Carson. Do marketing major students stay in a certain dorm building? No, there's not. I'll answer that one. There is not an assigned dormitory for marketing majors. You will have the opportunity, once you've decided to come to Northwood, to meet up through social media with other students, and you can ask if there's a marketing major, if you would like to room with one or get to know them. So you have the opportunity that way, but there's not a certain dorm building for them. And then Erica has the question, how do you manage time and stress with doing a major and a minor?
Yeah, so honestly, a lot of it falls into place. So for me personally, I did not have to take any extra classes. I came into Northwood with a couple of credits already from AP tests in high school. And then a lot of people also, if they don't have that, they'll take some summer classes, like maybe 1 or 2 at most. It's not a lot. I know there's a complicated process that the academic advisors have tried to kind of explain to me a lot of the times, but they helped make my schedule, and it's a way where some of my classes will count for my average or my marketing communications degree as well as my sports management degree. So some of them will double count. I wouldn't say it would be any added stress or time adding that minor on.
Thank you so much, Austin. Are there opportunities for this major outside of the U.S.? So if students come to Northwood and major in marketing or marketing communications, is this a global major that works anywhere?
Yeah, I would say definitely. I worked for a global company, and we were constantly looking for marketing communications, employees, students, interns, and they had the opportunity to work with our locations all around the world.
Wonderful.
I would second that, yes. And also, we do some study abroads, and sometimes they're a week or two. And I know they're working on one for Italy, and I apologize, I don't remember the name of the school, but there's one in, I want to say Rome, but don't quote me on that, that there's a school that we have a relationship with that we can, see Italian students and they can see us, and we can kind of talk about the differences in marketing there versus here. So there's all kinds of opportunities to learn to be a global marketer as well.
Wonderful. We had a couple more questions come up there. Isaac asked what changes have been made in light of the pandemic. I don't know if any of you want to talk about that. I can also. So Isaac, Northwood has put a lot of different things in place. We did have face-to-face classes offered up until just a couple weeks ago when the new announcement said that we couldn't. However, we also offered real-time online courses. So the professors are teaching their classes face-to-face, and you could log in real-time online too. So also on campus this year, every student had their own room. So that they were safer and less people to share germs with, basically, so we could maintain that. Northwood put a lot of things in place, and it has done really well in mitigating the pandemic on campus, I feel like. I don't know if anyone else has anything to add.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Jennifer.
I was just going to say, prior to having to go all online, we were implementing 360 cameras to give a real classroom experience for students, so that they could see those who did attend in person and interact. And that was working really well. Now that we're online, we're still holding class during class time. So you're not just sort of pushed off to an online platform and said, get the work done and call me if you need something. I mean, we are with our students every class and lecturing and presenting and talking. And it's as similar as it can be to the classroom experience.
Great, thank you. Ivan has asked, when is a good time to do an internship?
Yeah, so for the internships, I started, honestly, I've known a lot of people to even start before they come into college. But my first internship I got was after freshman year. So it was the summer in between my freshman and sophomore year. There are internships that you can get that are offered during school time as well. Usually those are kind of more online. I know there's usually a Disney one as well that's relating to that. But I always found it easiest to do a summer internship. It kind of always keeps your mind going, especially within that major as well.
Okay. Great, thank you. So Erica has asked a question, and that kind of leads into our next step. So I'll answer this while we ask it. Is the campus visit still open? Because she's been trying to get up here, but the pandemic is making it hard. Yes, we are still open. First, I want to thank all the professors for joining us, and Austin for joining us today too. This was wonderful and so informative for everyone. So one of the first things you want to do is to schedule a campus visit. We are offering both in-person and virtual visits still. So if you want to come up to visit the campus for a personalized visit and tour, we're following all the COVID-19 procedures and protocol. And we would love to have you come up and see our beautiful campus, experience the entrepreneurial spirit meet with students and even a faculty member if you'd like. So we are still open for those visits and just taking all of the precautions that we can. The second piece is to apply at Northwood. If you're a high school senior or a student interested in transferring to Northwood in the fall of 2021, we would love for you to apply at northwood.edu/apply. I want to thank you all again for joining us tonight. If you're interested in any of the other majors at Northwood, join us for any of the other webinars. If you've missed a webinar for the major you are interested in, don't worry, they're all posted on YouTube. Just search for Northwood University Major Webinar Series. Thank you again for joining us and have a fantastic evening. Oh, quick question down there I saw, where the campus is located. And is there a campus in Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky? Our campus, this is the main campus, and we're located in Midland, Michigan, right in the center of the Mitten. And I believe we have a program center in Kentucky also. So is that where you're located, Christopher? So we can follow up with that too. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great evening.
Hi, thank you.